Okay. All right. So let's. Good morning, everyone. And for the, since we're live for everybody, this is the North Andover Council on Aging Board of Directors meeting, June 8th, 2020. So I will. This is Joe Sergi, the chair, calling the meeting to order. So for everybody, I did send out the secretary's report from the last meeting that we did have, which was March 10th, 2020. So I hope everybody's had an opportunity to read that. And I'll, if you have any questions, comments, feel free to give them now. With that in mind, we'll just move on. Do I hear a motion to accept the secretary's report?
So moved.
To accept the
That's Jack.
Yeah.
That's Maria.
Second? Okay,
Second.
second Maria. Okay, I think we can dispense with the treasurer's report because as you recall from our March meeting, we closed out the account. The account at the time was $972.86, and we donated the money. We closed out the account at TD Bank and donated it to the Friends Group. And I think you've seen that in the report. So we can dispense with the treasurer's report.
You got it.
Okay, so I guess we can move on to new business unless, Irene, you have something you want to add, anything?
Nope, I'm just going to sit back and wait and see what's going on.
Okay, so
I
just want to...
I'm getting a lot of feedback. Is everybody, there's a lot of voice feedback coming through?
I'm getting a little feedback as well.
Feedback is coming.
Yeah.
So if you're not speaking, you should be muted.
Yeah,
Is there any way you can mute everybody?
yeah, if you're not speaking, you can put your phone on mute.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
Much better.
Okay, that should be better. Okay, so anyway, I wanted to chat a little bit about the senior center, the new senior center. And Irene, please feel free to jump in if you have any additional comments, because I'm just going to say what I've been told, okay? And I think everybody knows it now. And if you look up on the town's website about the upcoming town meeting, you will see that we may have a little bit of a problem with the planning committee, with the planning board. We have the new senior center has the full support of the town manager and the select board.
And the financial board.
And the financial board. The little problem that we have seems to be with the planning board. And I'm being candidly honest about it. I think their problem is, well, it all revolves around that big white house that's next to the land where the senior center is going to be built. That's on Surrey Drive and Sutton Street. That land was supposed to be gotten and used mostly for the parking lot for the senior center. The senior center will be built on the donated land, but we needed parking. We need about 80 spots of parking to make it appropriate for that size of a building. And as best I understand it, the planning board's problem seems to be with the old administration, that they did some things and they didn't inform the planning board, and now they just got stuck in their craw, and they don't want to spend the money to buy the building, evidently. And I'm being blunt, and that's how I understand it. They're just kind of being pains in the you-know-what. The town has the money. They have an appropriation that they could use. They have funds available to buy the building. That's why the town manager's okay with it, the select board's okay with it, and the finance committee's okay with it. So the little hurdle that we have is strictly the planning board. But, like anything else, when you go to town meeting, you just don't know how the townspeople are going to react to it. So I wanted everybody to be aware of it. And town meeting is coming up. I'll go right into the next phase of it. Town meeting's coming up, and it's going to be kind of a strange town meeting. It's going to be outside at the football stadium, properly spaced and all that. But that could be a problem for a lot of seniors. And, and I would think we need seniors, to be there, to be vocal, to show support. And, so that's why I sent out that email message to you folks that, to speak up, get the message out, to get as many seniors out to town meeting as possible to support the senior center. So when it comes up and the planning board, raises their periscope and says, we're not in favor of this, then we need to overwhelm them a little bit. I think, just being candid, that seems to be the problem. That seems to be the hurdle. Nothing else. I've spoken to a lot of people. I've spoken to some of the members of the select board. They're all in favor of it. They all want it. We know the town manager wants it. And as Irene said, the finance committee is all set. So the only hurdle we have is the planning board. And I think it's just because they're upset that they weren't informed about this way back when, in the early stages of planning this, when we had the old town manager. Am I being correct in when I say it that way, Irene?
Yes, you are. If
Yeah.
I could say, I am challenging the board to carpool and take seniors with them to this meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Seniors in the community, the meeting's at 5 o'clock. We are very early on the agenda. So it's really important that we get the senior vote out, because if we don't, it's not going to go through.
Irene, this is Joe McCarthy. I've also made a number of contacts, including the selectmen in our town. And it appears that, and this is warrant article number 12, require number 1 and number 3 Surrey Drive, which is, as Joe said, and I think Joe's right on the mark, which is needed for parking. I thought all this had been resolved in the last administration, and I raised some flags since that time. And unfortunately, the flag raising has had some merit to it. But there doesn't appear to be an option. This project has to go forward. And we have to get the seniors out there. And my feeling is that there aren't going to be that many seniors there. 5 o'clock is a very inconvenient time. I expressed this to Councilman.
Actually, Joe, if I could interrupt, 5 o'clock is a good time for seniors. It's better than 7 o'clock at night. So if every board member brings 2 or 3 seniors in their car, that's going to make a difference.
Well, that's true, but it's also a bad time for people that are starting to go back to work. And nevertheless, I do hope the project goes forward, because again, there doesn't seem to be a viable option here.
Yeah, I mean, it is a stumbling block. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. So as Irene said, we need to, do the best to get as many people that support the new senior center. Especially seniors, but anybody who wants to support the senior center, we got to get them out and to rally around the cause, if you will. I have no idea what to expect with this. I have none. I don't know if anybody else does. I'm hoping, I got my fingers crossed that it's going to happen, and it's going to be favorable. But I've got no clue whatsoever what's going to happen.
Joe, Sergi, this is Joyce. Have you reached out or done any fact gathering directly from the planning board? You have a great rapport with people. Would it be worthwhile?
I haven't chatted with the planning board per se. I mean, there's the only one I really know on the board is Gene.
Right.
But I have talked to members of the select board or the board of selectmen, and talking to a few of them, they're quite upset about this. They don't think this is fair, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm hoping that a lot of people are leaning on the planning board. But the planning board can be difficult. I mean, I've been before them for other things, and I've seen them in action, and they can be difficult. So we just hope that, with the full support of the town manager and the full support of the finance committee and the full support of the select board, I'm hoping they can drown them out a little bit, but, I honestly don't know. I have no clue.
Okay, and then my second point I want to raise is, when Emmett was with us last, and I asked him straight up, would you be willing to come to the annual meeting, town meeting? He said yes.
Oh.
Because we are in a critical stage here, if we could bring him in, tell him the points we need him to focus on, I think that might hit it out of the park, because it's not just us old folk saying we want a new place to hang out. It is come in with facts and figures, and he presents very well, and also he's coming from the state, which is they are supporting us, and
Yeah.
it's very impactful.
Yeah. Irene, if you can send me his email address and phone number, I'd be more than happy to call his office.
Okay, I will do
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Yep.
This is Joe
What
give-
what is the specific reason why they're opposing it? I mean, they must have some statement to make about why they're opposing it.
Yeah, maybe we'll get that first. Find out what their issue is, because they're not going to say, we didn't like what you did the last time. They may raise specific issues. So if we can gather that information first, build on it, so we're ready to have a retort to what their concerns are, and address
Yeah,
the town.
As far as I understand it,
if we don't have a good argument against what their main reason is, we're going to be in a short trouble. We're going to have to. You got to get somebody there. It'd be good to have someone in town who's an enthusiast for it, and you can fight it. That's right.
Yeah.
At town meeting, you got to be careful.
Yeah. As far as I understand, Jack, it's strictly about the money. The planning board was not informed about the amount of money that we would have to pay for it, and that they have now set aside $550,000 to buy the building. But I guess the planning board was unaware of it. The previous administration had not said anything about it. The money is there. The new town manager has set aside the money, the funds to purchase the building, but the planning board just got it stuck in their craw. I think that's how I understand it. I don't know, Irene, you understand anything differently?
That's exactly what I've heard too.
Yeah.
But you have to know that the senior center can still be built, but it will only have 30 parking places.
Yeah.
That's the kicker right there.
Yeah. So,
Can you get the town manager or somebody to stand up and?
I think they are.
The town manager is prepared to speak. Yes.
Yeah, and I think a couple of the selectmen will speak. I can certainly tell you, Rosemary Spadili is going to speak up. She's. I will tell you, out of all the people on the select board, Rosemary Spadili is the biggest advocate for us seniors, and she is quite upset about this. I've talked to her a few times. I know she's talked to Irene a few times, and I'm sure she's going to speak up.
Okay.
So we do have some advocates, and I think they're going to make the point that we have the money. The town has the money. They have set aside through the new administration. They have set aside the money for this to happen. So.
Excuse me. How about on the local state level, calling in our guys? I mean, this is really serious to me, and we have to pull out any stop we can. Now, I also don't want to intimidate the planning board, but let's go to our senators, Tar.
I don't want to intimidate them. I just want to overwhelm them. So.
I think call in a favor from, the politicians.
Yeah.
They always want to do something for us. They'd love to have this on their resume.
Well, I think it would be very easy to get Bruce Tar in and to get Deanna DiZaglio in. And if they would speak up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know them pretty well, Irene. I don't know. Maybe you could send them an email to their offices, to invite them and see if we can get their support.
I will call them personally.
I'll be more than happy to call Emmett, but I think the Senate people the state reps and the Senate folks much better than me. So, you know, and what's her name? Representative
Inakuchi, or is she related to this project?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure because she's related to the developer. So
Yeah.
that would look like a conflict. So I might shy away from there. But you know, Bruce Tarr certainly, DeZoglio, and I forget the other woman's name. I did meet her. She replaced Lyons.
Yeah, I can't think of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Nguyen. I think her last name is Nguyen.
I think we would have been better off if Reliance was still in there. I don't know her. She's not in my district, so.
Yeah, well, she's my state rep, but I've met her once, and that was like last November or December. So, and I don't know how active she is, you know, with the senior center, but you know, if we can get at least one of them, you know, to speak up, you know, that might be a good thing. So
I think that's great to have Emmett from the state, Tarr possibly, or that level, senator, and then have them speak. We just don't want their, you know, we're not asking them to
either them
blood.
or they can send a representative, or even, you know, send a note that someone could read, you know, at it. So
as last
anyway.
choice, as last choice, their presence would be very impactful. But the worst case scenario, a letter would work. Yeah. A representative.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the story. That's how I understand it. You know, I hate that it's come to this, but that's where we're at. So. As Irene said, you know, try to get any of your senior friends or anybody that supports the cause, get them out there for this thing. I don't think there's much else we can say.
What's the date?
This is on the
16th, a week from today, at 5 p.m. at the football stadium, Walsh Stadium.
Okay.
If you go on the town's website. And look under town meeting, you'll see, you can see the seating arrangements, et cetera, and, you know, how they're going to do everything. I did it already. I looked at it.
Okay, thank you.
This is Joe McCarthy again. Now,
yeah, go ahead, Joe.
That we have next Tuesday, I believe that there are 31 warrant articles. Number 12 is acquiring these parcels of land, which again, I thought had happened quite some time ago, and it has not. And that's where the problem lies right now. Yeah. I've got a number of contacts too in our town to see if we can move up that time by changing the number of this warrant article, because you know as night goes on, people leave, and it looks like it's going to be voted on early, which is good. Often you go to these meetings and people have a vested interest in just one warrant article, and after that they leave in droves. Well, this is our vested interest, and I'm not saying the seniors are going to leave in droves because they voted on it. They're going to be leaving early because they're tired. They're seniors.
Well, yeah. So it's tiring sitting out there, and you know, and depending on the weather, you know, God only knows. If it's a hot night, that could be uncomfortable. You just don't know. I don't think we can change the order. I don't know. I don't know if you can change the order.
The order can be changed. I was going to give Mark DeZoglio I was going to give Mark a call, and I was told that no, that's not necessary because it's going to be changed. The timing.
Okay. Melissa has already addressed that. The town manager has already addressed that with Mark. And he has to put it up front. Can we take it out of order? And it's a vote, you know, and of course people usually will agree with that, to take things out of order. So
I think Michael Selva will work with us on this. I did take a look at the long-term weather forecast, and it calls for rain Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And Tuesday, the day of that meeting, is the only day that rain is not called for around. And so we will see. There could be a change.
Yeah, well, keep your fingers crossed. That's all I can say.
Bring an umbrella.
Yeah. Okay,
Sun or rain,
I don't know if
bring
there's,
an umbrella.
I'm sorry, Irene?
Sun or rain, bring an umbrella or wear a hat.
Yeah, yeah. That's true. Well, I'm not sure we can talk much about any, if there's any more than we can say other than, keep your fingers crossed and let's see how it goes. So if nobody has any other comments or questions, I'm just going to move on. I don't know if you want to say anything, Irene. I'm just giving you the opportunity. I know you put out that email that you kind of told us what's been going on at the senior center, and you and I have chatted a little bit, but I don't know if if you want to give a few words to the rest of the folks so they can hear it straight on. I can say, I'm just telling the board, my conversations with Irene and Carla, they and Leah, they have been, and everybody on the staff, Jose, everybody, they have been doing yeoman's work, supporting not just the seniors, but everybody in this town, in the community, people that are looking for help with food, et cetera, et cetera. These guys have been jumping through hoops, and I gotta hand it to you guys. You've done yeoman's work. It's just fantastic job for all of you. But Irene, if you want to say a few words, please feel free.
Well, pretty much repeating what Joe just said, that the whole staff has been working. Everybody has pitched in. It's been amazing. The senior center has been open every single day, and we've been here. We sometimes not food through the whole day, but that's because we're out delivering food or delivering masks. We've had a great outreach on the masks from the community. Between our seniors and the nurses in the community, we've been able to right now we have a table full of masks, and it's been amazing that the support we're getting on the food end and the donations that have been coming through our local churches in the community supporting us have been completely amazing. And we've gone through, well, up to May, from May, I think it's been over 5,000 pieces of food that have been transported in and out of the senior center for distribution. So that's it in a pigeonhole.
That's amazing.
Hi, Joe. This is Tracy. Just so that you know, Irene, when she speaks, is extremely muffled. So I don't know if people have their phones not muted. I only hear every third word, so there's not going to be much notes on that.
That's all right. Basically,
okay.
she's told everybody, about all the support that the senior staff has been giving to the community and the number of people that have been served. When I mean served, that they've helped families that they've helped, and and just the job that they've been doing. It's been impressive.
Yep. Okay, great.
This is Maria. I just want to thank Irene for all the wonderful things that are going on behind closed doors, so to speak, there at the center. Thank you again, Irene, for everything you do for us.
Thank you, Maria.
Yep. Same here. This is Joe. Yeah.
Here. This voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you, Irene. I appreciate it. Thank you for everything you've done, and thank you for your update. So let's move on. The important thing we got to do in this meeting is elect new officers. As I said in my email, I'm signing off. Matter of fact, I got my email yesterday asking me if I wanted to be reappointed, and I thank them for the opportunity that I've had over the last few years. I think I told you in my email, I've been volunteering in the town for over 12 years. I started with I was on working in the schools for the superintendent, and then I moved over here to the senior center, and I volunteered there. I've been on the board for a little over 6 years, and I've been chair for 5 years. And it's time for me to move on. I've got, Pat and I have some plans, and it's just the timing. I know the timing is not great, but it's the right timing for us, and I have to think of us. I can tell you, I know Dorothy's not on the line, but she did copy me. They sent her a message. Her term expires at the end of June as well, and she has chosen not to seek reappointment to the board as well. So there's going to be 2 openings, and I plan to send a note to to Jillian, you know, Dave, if you're still on the line, you know, to obviously recommend that we move you up to a, you know, to a full-time member as well. I mean, that's the logical thing to do. That's the right thing to do, and I'll make sure that that happens. And I plan to send a note like that to a couple of the selectmen as well, just to make sure to reinforce that happens.
Joe, this is Joyce. I'm also planning to step down from the board, so there'll be a chair position.
Okay. All
This
right.
is Joe McCarthy, Joe. Even though we don't agree on things at times, sometimes more often than not, you've really done a yeoman's job as a chairman of our Council on Aging. And sometimes you're like a one-man band because you wear so many hats. And I'm so impressed. You're going to be so missed. And I wish you nothing but the best that life has to offer.
Well, thank you very much.
Our town is going to miss you hugely, Joe. Hugely.
Well, thank you very much. You know, I'm going to miss this as well. I really am. This has been engaging at times. It's been fun at times. It's been a little hair-raising at times. But I've loved every minute of it, and I appreciate all of you folks. You know, I've gotten a chance to meet you all. And yes, Joe, you're right. Even though sometimes we don't always agree, I respect everything that everybody has done, and the, you know, and the level of engagement has been great. And you know, and I leave with a sense of accomplishment. I think we've done some good things, and I think there's more to come. And with that, you know, I think we need to move on. One question I have for the whole board. Since we do not have any funds, we don't have any funds in the bank anymore. Do you feel we need to have a treasurer on the board?
Of course, Maria, of course, it's part of our bylaws and stuff. Leave the secretary. I'll be happy to take the position and see what I can do with it.
With the treasurer?
I'm not secretary, treasurer. Sorry. Treasurer.
Well, okay. Well, you know, okay. I just wanted to make sure. Okay. With that in mind, do we have any nominations? Anybody want to nominate anybody for chair of the COA board?
I would be happy to nominate Joyce. She'd move up from vice.
Joyce.
Thank you. I'm not.
Yeah, Joyce said that she's retiring from the board as well.
Oh, that puts in a different perspective.
Thank you anyway, Maria. I'm just not, I can't fit it in the schedule.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I would like to nominate Dave.
Dave. He's brand new on, I don't know.
He's not a full member yet. I don't know if he can even be nominated.
Yeah, he has to be put on the board first.
How about Joe McCarthy?
All right, I'm just taking notes here. So we have Joe. Maria's nominated Joe.
Are there any volunteers?
Yeah.
What about Larry?
This is Joe, and I appreciate the nomination. I just became the chairman of our town's Board of Health. At the time, with the coronavirus epidemic or pandemic, it's really daunting undertaking. It's taking a lot of time and effort and energy. Having said that, if no one else steps up to the plate for chairman of our Council on Aging, then I certainly would consider. But I hope that someone does step up.
Is that not a conflict, Joe, if you're on two boards as chair? I'm not sure.
I would love to be the chair, as I've expressed in the past, of the Council on Aging. When I just became the chair of the Board of Health, I said, I just want it for 1 year because I want other people to have the opportunity to move up too within the board. But I'd love to do it. If not this year, then perhaps next year for the Council on Aging. It's just that two boards. I don't know. It just takes. These are almost two full-time jobs, and at times when Joe has done the job, you can put as much, Joe Sergi, you can put as much or a little time in it as you like at times. He has put a lot of time in it.
Yeah.
He's done a good job. It does at times take a lot of time.
Sometimes, not all the time, but there are moments where it gets a little busy. I wouldn't deny that. But I don't know, Irene, if there's a conflict with that being a chair on two boards. It sounds like it might be a problem, but I'm not absolutely sure. I honestly don't know.
Hi.
I could fill in on an interim basis, and if they say there's a conflict, then it's open again. But again, if someone steps up right now, and if that person is supported, then that would be fine.
Okay, who else?
Well, I'm looking at the list. I think Dave would be a great guy, but we have to get Dave officially on the board.
Right.
So, one of the
What
things.
about Jen?
Well, fine. I mean, if somebody wants to nominate Jen, if she's interested.
This is Jen. Because I still work part-time, I don't know if I'd be able to give it the amount of attention it needs to be a chair.
But
is there a way to get around it? Can I be a chair until Dave's nominated and is on the board, then I can give it over to him? I don't know.
Now.
This is Joe McCarthy. This is what you can do, Jen. Anyone that is appointed or elected to any position in our town can resign anytime they want. For example, right now, I'm the chair of the Board of Health. I should be the chair of the Board of Health on July the 1st. But the present chair, he's moving to New Hampshire the 16th of this month. So we voted early, and that's just the way it is. So you can stay on it for a month or two and then resign. That does happen.
I don't know, because of, working as a nurse with this COVID is also,
It puts too much pressure on you, my darling. Oh, too much.
That's my reservation also, is I'm still working full time, I would want to not be able to devote time.
No, the pressure. What about Quintara? You there, Quintara?
I think she works full time too.
Oh.
Yeah, I spoke with Quintara about that, and I said that I said, look, you'd get a lot of support, but she has other commitments right now. She's not ready. Maybe another year or two, but not right now.
Well, Joe, looks like you're it.
Well, I mean, I could do it for a period of time, but
then we'll worry
again, I don't even know if it's legal.
Don't worry about it.
Did anyone say Larry?
No, but Larry would be a good guy as well, but I'm not sure how interested he is. And I'd hate to, elect him, in absentia. But logically, he'd be a good guy. He's got the right kind of contacts. He was involved in the Better Business Bureau. He has a lot of contacts throughout the community, the whole Greater Lawrence community. He'd be excellent. So, we have two choices. We can nominate and vote on Joe McCarthy, at least on an interim basis, and then if it does represent a problem, you'd have to, at the next one of the next couple of meetings, appoint him. He have to resign and somebody else be appointed. Or we can nominate and elect Larry, and then when he gets word of it, if he's not interested, then he can resign immediately as well.
I think that Larry should be involved in that discussion. Unfortunately, he's not at this meeting.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's how I feel. You know, it's just not fair to, you know, put the guy in the job if he's, you know, if he can't speak up on you know, on his own behalf.
Yeah.
So, you know, I guess, you know, we can, I think Maria nominated Joe McCarthy, and we can do, you know, a vote for Joe as chair.
Joe?
We can call it interim.
Yeah.
And then.
Joe, it's Irene. I was wondering, can where we don't have everyone on the phone, could we possibly schedule a meeting for next week and speak to everybody that is interested, so that we have a solid board that not, you know, not an interim position? And
I agree.
To see if they would be interested, you know, first. I know that Larry said he was going to be on this call, so I'm not sure if he's having the same trouble that I was having and getting on.
We can wait
that's fine with me, but Tuesday day I'm busy, so it'd have to be you know, Monday.
I mean, I think we can schedule it for any time, really.
Yeah.
What if we wait till, is that a problem?
I'm sorry.
But what about Dave? If I don't know, some people are resigning from the board. If he could be appointed to the board and then do it, if he's willing.
First of all, let's ask Dave. Dave, are you interested?
I would be willing to, although I think Larry also would be a wonderful candidate.
I totally agree, but I think all three of you guys would be fine. I do think, Joe, that there's going to be a problem with being on two boards at once. Two chairs at one time. I just feel that might present a problem. But
even if it was a month or two, I agree with you on that. I'm certainly going to look further, regardless of what the outcome is for the new chair position on Council on Aging. I think it's a great idea to wait till next week.
It's table it for 2 weeks, as long as we do it before the end of June.
Exactly. So we have some time.
Well, you know, like I said, my calendar for next Tuesday day is a bit of a problem, but I could do it Monday of next week. You know, the sooner the better. Let me just look. I'm looking at my calendar. Yeah, Tuesday and Wednesday are real problems, but I could do it Monday, Wednesday, or Friday of next week.
Monday at 9 o'clock would be great.
Or even Friday of this week.
That's tomorrow,
Well,
isn't it?
No,
Today's Tuesday, so Friday is the 12th. So I could do it Friday the 12th, or Monday the 15th, or Thursday and Friday the 18th and 19th.
Why don't you put out an email to the board and give two options, and the majority will rule on the vote.
All right. When we hang up this meeting, I will do that. I'll send something out to all the members of the board, and I'll try to set something up for, you know, I'll give you multiple options of when we can do it.
And if we're going to use this method again, make sure that Cam knows.
Yeah, I'll have to notify Brian at CAM.
Yeah, there was a problem this morning for those of you that weren't on early.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good point. Well, I don't know if we should proceed with the election of the rest of the officers, which is basically the secretary and the treasurer. Let me ask this, Tracy: are you willing to stay on board as the treasurer?
Well, I wasn't.
I'm sorry,
treasurer.
as secretary.
Yeah. Well, what about the vice chair?
Well, yeah, I'm holding that. I'm holding that off just a sec. I was just going to ask you first about secretary.
If someone else wants it, that's completely fine with me.
If someone else doesn't want it, is that completely fine with you too?
Sure, I guess.
Okay.
I'm more concerned with you and poor Irene because I send it to you like an hour before you need it, because I'm working full time.
Nah, we can make do with that. That's not a problem.
Okay.
Okay, well, do we want to proceed with the vice chair now, or does everybody want to wait? I'm in favor of just doing it now, electing a vice chair, and I know Maria is interested in doing the treasurer. As I said, there's not going to be much there, but if the bylaws say we should have a treasurer, then fine. We can do that now. So, do we want to hold open nominations for vice chair?
Why don't we just do them all the same day?
Yeah.
This is Tracy.
That's fine with me. What about everybody else?
Yeah, I think have a offices and then vote on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as soon as we hang up, I will send out a message to everybody based upon my calendar of what I can do, and I'll give you multiple options of when we can try to do this again for nomination and election of officers.
And perhaps, Joe, you could do a proposed slate of officers.
Yeah, I'm going to try to contact some people. Dave's been gracious enough to say he'd do it. Joe has indicated he might do it, though I think Joe might have a problem. I'll talk to Larry. It seems to me that everybody would be okay with one of those three gentlemen, and then we'll go from there in terms of the vice chair and secretary. Though I think Tracy's done a good job, and I know it's been difficult for you, Tracy, trying to work and timing and everything else. But you've done a pretty good job, and I'd be all in favor of you staying on board. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But give me a little while to work on this, and you'll be getting an email from me very shortly, and we'll proceed from there.
Joe, let me throw out another idea.
What's that?
And that is, if there is somebody who is not going to continue after July 1st, I don't know when the next Board of Selectmen actually meet, but it seems to me it's in the next 10 days just before town meeting.
Yes.
If that person were to resign, maybe I could be appointed before.
Way ahead of you, Dave, on that one. I was thinking along the same lines. So.
And I'd hope to have Larry be president and I'd be vice president for a year.
Yeah. I'm way ahead of you. I'm gonna shoot off a couple of messages to a couple of the selectmen and see if we can do that as well. It's kind of all part of my thought process. So just give me a little bit of time to get off some messages, and I'll be back to you folks shortly.
Yeah, Joe is going to be overwhelmed with the Board of Health in the next 12 months.
You wouldn't think the calls that I've already got. I'm not sure if it's congratulatory or condolence, but with this pandemic and all that's happening in our town and some political issues to only exacerbate the problem, it's not easy. Yeah. It's not easy at all.
No, I would imagine so. Okay. All right. Well, I think we're done for today. Does anybody else have any comments, questions?
This is Joe again. A quick comment. Again, I've been concerned about our new senior center and the financing, and if all the equation in order for quite some time. I think that things have happened that we are not aware of. I'm mistaken. I'm not saying that they're bad, but I don't have a good understanding of so much here. I thought I did. I don't. So I asked Casey if she would get contracts with the Minicucci's in the town for this KOC property, including an update. And she said that she'd look into it. Hopefully she'll be able to get it for me. She may not, I don't know. But I like to take a look at it. I'm just not comfortable about this. We voted on this last year. And at that time, it seemed to have been a done deal. And Joe, when you had what's the Glenn Miller Orchestra?
Yeah.
I was out in the lobby. I was so high. I was explaining to people about our new senior center and everything is in order. It wasn't in order at that time.
Yeah, I agree. I thought everything was in place, but obviously some things happened in the background that none of us were aware of, and it's coming back to bite us now, and it's unfortunate. The good news is, the new town manager and the select board, are in favor of it. They have the wherewithal to buy the property. We've got a stumbling block because, some people's noses, basically their noses out of joint, that they weren't aware of something that was going on in the previous town management. And, and that's what we're dealing with. But, it's, don't take it lightly because it can be a serious problem. But, hopefully we can overwhelm them. Nobody was aware of this, Joe, as far as I understand. It's just the way it was. Sad as it may be, but that's the case.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that the town has been disingenuous on this at all, but there probably have been a number of closed door meetings to find out what the heck is going on and not divulge that information to the town until people that work for our government, as an administration, have a better understanding. But I don't like this at all. And I'm concerned about the outcome of this meeting next Tuesday, which could be canceled again. Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, rain is forecast.
Yeah.
Could I speak for just a moment, please?
Sure.
I would really hope the board is aware of the insecurity of food issues in the community of North Andover. It has been
Irene, could you repeat that? I'm so sorry. Irene.
There is so much food insecurity in the town of North Andover. And we here at the senior center and the town nurses have been in the forefront of getting food to families that are in such struggle right now. The other thing is that Tufts Medical has been sending us, I don't know if you are aware of the fact that the Meals on Wheels was shut down, and it is currently shut down and closed. We do not know for how long, for the whole of Merrimack Valley. And because of that, last Friday, we received meals from a source, I believe it was Connecticut or Rhode Island, a distribution site, where they sent 7 meals out to each member that is on our Meals on Wheels program. And right now, I just had 100 sandwiches come in that will be coming in every day, and we're getting those out. We have a drive and grab bag out center here 2 days a week now, where people just drive up in the car. We ask them how many members in their family, and we give them bags of food. Now, we've had amazing donations financially from the Hope Point Church that's behind the police station. They gave us $1,000. We have $3,000 coming from another source that wants to remain anonymous. But the insecurity for food need is huge in the community. And because I have all these food bags here, if you know of anyone that can use, it's just a jelly sandwich or a ham and cheese sandwich or a turkey sandwich, they come in every day. And because I cannot use the Meals on Wheels drivers to pass this food out because it did not come from their sources, we are trying our best to get the food out by bringing it to housing and by giving it out with the grab and go bag. So I just want the board to be aware of the need for food in North Andover. And this isn't a joke to a lot of people that are struggling right now. Mm-hmm. And this has been going on, since the beginning, but it's not slowing down, it's growing.
Yeah. it's not just seniors either. I mean,
No,
it's everybody in the town.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Irene, this is Joe again. Is this food, is this what we talked about several days ago from Tufts?
Yes, it's the same.
Yeah.
We've been getting it for about a month now. That
Yeah,
was before, we were getting it before Meals on Wheels shut down.
Yeah, and that's from one of the members of the town Board of Health. That's from Daphne Ava LaFleur. She's a member, and some of us have been able to do things. For example, I had some N95 masks. I had a box of them that I gave to the town a couple of months ago, which they really appreciated. So people have been stepping up to the plate. Both when I say the plate, more than one way, but a lot of things that are of major concern right now with this prolonged social isolation, particularly of seniors, such as increased alcoholism and child abuse, spousal abuse, depression, confusion, functional decline, et cetera, et cetera. And I've been talking about that because all our Board of Health meetings are televised, although right now this is virtual. But I'm concerned going forward. Our country has been down for a long time, and I feel that the fix to the problem can, in many respects, be as bad as the problem itself. We're going to get hit.
I have a list of over 80 seniors, not over 80 in age seniors, who we do not have phone numbers on, and I have the addresses because they live in homes, and we have no way to get their phone numbers because I don't have people that can do that for me right now. I got it through the town clerk, and I'd like to see the board step up and get out there and get some of these meals out to people, because I need the board to walk their talk.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
stated, and Joe, you said earlier that some elderly people that you know have the coronavirus, and one of whom had passed away.
Yeah.
I've had several checks, one for the antibodies to determine if I had it several months ago, that was negative, and the other for the antigens to determine if I have it right now, and I don't. Both of them came out negative. However, having said that, my son-in-law's brother, he's in his late 30s. He died yesterday of the coronavirus.
Yeah, it's bad. It's
bad. Really
yeah,
bad.
it's very bad. I worry immensely about my son-in-law. My son-in-law is a Boston police officer. He's a canine cop, and with everything else that's been going on, he's out there, and so I worry about him, and I worry about my daughter and my grandchildren, and so far he's been doing okay, but it's worrisome. It truly is worrisome. So
my father was a Boston police officer for like 30 years. Interesting. And this man that died, my son-in-law's brother, it worked in the emergency room of a hospital.
Yeah. My oldest daughter has a friend who's an emergency room doctor at Beth Israel, and he got it. And this guy is in his late 40s, and he was on a ventilator for 2 weeks. He did survive it, but he was pretty sick. And then now he's back to work as an emergency room doctor, if you can figure it. I was in the hospital a couple of weeks ago. And through all of this, I had a little cardiac event, and I had to be taken by ambulance to the Lawrence General Hospital. And I got to tell you, I was not happy about going into the hospital, but they had the Lawrence General Hospital petitioned off. They had giant sheets hanging down from the ceiling, and they literally, had 2 or 3 rooms in the emergency room for non-COVID people like me. And I was impressed, but how careful they were. I mean, you thought you were on Mars. I mean, people walking around in spacesuits that are taking care of you, and it's scary as hell. But I was very impressed at how careful and methodical they were at the Lawrence General Hospital. So it's a scary time. It really is.
Joe, I'm going to have to check off.
Okay, Dave, you'll be hearing from us. Okay, thanks. So everybody, I think that's it. Anybody else have any comments?
No, Joe, I have to go too. I have a house full here that I have to sort through.
No problem. So do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
That's Joe, and Joyce, you seconded?
Seconded, yes.
Yeah. Okay, and by the way, everybody, I want to thank Joyce for as vice chair. She's been awesome, and Joyce and I had a lot of fun together, especially when we were doing the concert. But she's been very supportive of me and very supportive of the senior center. And Joyce, I want to thank you publicly. I appreciated it very much, and best of luck to you as well.
Oh, same here, Joe. I'm going to stay in touch with you, so you can't get rid of me.
Yeah, same here. Same here as
You
well.
did a great job, Joyce.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right, everybody.
All right.
Thank you
Have a
very
good
much.
day. Bye-bye.
I'll be sending out some messages, very shortly.
Okay, thanks, Joe.
Okay. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.